Okay, just making a second video here. So my friend Jay bought Dana 44 chromoly Alloy USA axle shafts for his Jeep Rubicon because he destroyed the factory ones. The Alloy USA kit comes as a whole kit with inner, outer shafts, stub shafts, right? And then U-joints and wheel bearings because they changed their stub shaft to a 30 spline outer. So you get a kit and it comes with wheel bearings. Okay, so I assembled the axle shafts for him. He was doing ball joints at the same time, did all that. And so we put the shafts in, slide them into the differential, right? Put the wheel bearings on, tighten the wheel bearings down to the spindle, the knuckle. Put our axle shaft nut on, torque that down to it's 180, I believe, right? Give or take. And okay, everything should be honky-dory, Like we change axle shafts everywhere, side of the trail, you name it, we've done it, right? Like it's nothing new. So get it all together. It goes on a test drive. Didn't really feel nothing at first, and then he picks me up. I jump in with him. He goes, "Fuck, my brake pedal's feeling weird. Like you can push it down, and it'll go almost to the floor, and you give it a couple pumps. Hey, it's there, it's solid, but every time you go to push it again, you have to pump it. Like, well, that's kind of weird. Maybe the caliper was twisted and the flex line was sitting the wrong way, kinked it or something, right? Or looking, oh yeah, you know what? The one does look like maybe it got one spin around before it got bolted on and it needs to get untwisted. Well, you jack it up, and then I just happen to lean on the tire while taking it off, and like, holy fuck. Oh, pardon my French, but holy, the whole tire's flopping, right? Like your wheel bearing's roasted. Like, what the heck? So, long story short, we end up back out here today looking further into the problem, trying to sort this out. What I find is you got your stub shaft here, splines, and then it necks up a little bit here. And when I put the vernier on it, right on there, right? It reads about 1.4. I don't know, you probably can't see it, but anyways, it reads 1.4. You take your wheel bearing hub, right? And you drop her on there. Oh, there she goes. And look at the big old gap in there. Okay, so get stuck here. Let me wrap this up. So this part of the shaft is supposed to bottom on the wheel bearing here so that when you tighten down your axle nut, it squeezes all that together and holds your wheel bearing secure. When you do this on the Jeep and you put it in and you tighten down your wheel nuts and everything, and you're not going to see that that's not going down all the way. So what it took for us to drive it down the road, and as soon as you started driving and the wheel bearing started coming apart on itself, now your rotor is doing this as it's spinning and it's pushing the brake piston back. Hence why his brake was doing something funny. So anyways, long story short, both wheel bearings did the exact same thing because of this problem. So, I mean, there's two options. You send it all back and say it's junk, or if you know somebody with a lathe, you take this stub shaft and you get this milled down a little bit so that the bearing will sit all the way down and we're rocking and rolling and everything's good. But like I say, this is a part that's manufactured as a kit, and for that to not go together, and like we could have crashed and burned heavily if the tire come off because the wheel bearing was literally falling apart. And here's the other one I'll show you. So that's what was happening because it wasn't seated all the way. So it's Sunday today, right? We can't call up Alloy USA or anything or where we got these parts through. He's going to look into it tomorrow and see what they're going to do or what we can do about this, because that's really not good at all. And I think this is a huge issue. I don't know. I'm sure we're not the first people to come across it. When we went on a Googling stuff, there was somebody on a forum there from 2020 who kind of realized they had something going on. They couldn't figure it out. So yeah, if we find answers and get solutions, I'll be sure to upload it so everybody else knows. But just, guys, be careful about this. If you buy these shafts, that could happen to you. And like I say, we were on like a half an hour drive on 80-kilometer roads, and it was shocking that we didn't feel more. I thought he was maybe correcting quite a bit for the Jeep, but it's a lifted Jeep on 35s and everything. And I was like, doesn't that seem wandery? He's like, Well, I don't know. It doesn't seem that bad. I mean, so anyways, it wasn't until he jacked it up and realized. So yeah, guys, stay safe out there, and you know, make sure, check your stuff right away, because this was something simple. That's, like I say, putting this shaft together and everything is, it's not, if you're a 4x4 guy, you do this all the time and you never have a problem. And you know, it's pretty straightforward stuff. But this one caught us and we got lucky, and I'm putting this out there in hopes that somebody doesn't, there's no story about somebody going on the highway and the fucking thing flies off and, you know, the tire kills somebody or whatever. You veer off the road, you never know what could happen. So that's my update there, and yeah, happy 4x4ing.